Welcome back, Westwood Christian Warriors. We are so excited to start our 61st school year here at Westwood Christian. Although this year is going to be quite unique, with some students joining us here on campus and some students joining us through our hybrid program, you are all part of the Westwood Christian family, regardless of where you are joining us from. What Mr. Mortensen and I are going to do today is that we are going to give you a short training on what it's like to be a hybrid student. We know that there are possibly going to be questions after this training, and that is not a problem. You could always get in contact with us, and we will be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. To also put your mind at ease, all of the teachers at Westwood Christian next week will be going over different hybrid procedures with your child in order to make sure that they fully understand the program. So the first thing that you're going to do, all hybrid students will be joining us via Zoom. This is going to be a live feed class that they will be getting daily. Elementary students will be receiving their schedule with highlighted times of when they're expected to be in front of the screen. For high school students, you'll simply be following your bell schedule like you would if you were actually in school. So I am going to start logging on just like I am a student at Westwood Christian. I'm going to go to zoom.com. You do not have to have a sign-in. You are actually just going to join a meeting. So parents, you do not have to worry about creating an account for your child. You would input the meeting ID, the class that child has, and you would simply click join. If this window appears, go ahead and open Zoom meetings, and it would be prompted to go on to the next part of the meeting. All classes are going to require a password, and these passwords will be given to you by the teachers. Once you click join meeting, I will be sent to the waiting room before I'm allowed to enter the class. Once the teacher is ready for me to be admitted, they will go ahead and admit me into the class. Before your final entrance into your virtual class, you will be asked how you're going to join the Zoom session with what kind of audio to make sure that you are being heard. And I am going to be joining with computer audio, as many of you should choose as your option. So once I am in the class, this is the kind of view that I would see. I am appearing today as Miss Sarah Pickers, so that is myself. I'm going to go ahead and start my video so you can actually see me. And then Mr. Mortensen is in front of the class. So Mr. Mortensen, can you go ahead and lead us on to the next step?
Yes. Hey, Mrs. Ross, welcome to our online class. Thank you for joining us today. And we're excited to have all our students back, whether it's on campus or online. So we just want to take a few minutes and share with you what it looks like from the student's perspective and give you a few helpful tools that'll make online learning a success. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and teachers are going to have the ability to share a lot of things on this screen, and whatever's on this screen is going to be able to show up at home on a student's computer or device. And so this is what it looks like from the teacher's perspective and also the student's perspective. The very first thing that we want to share or show you what to do is learning how to raise your hand. And so Mrs. Ross is going to show us all how to raise our hand in the Zoom meeting.
So just like a student would do in a regular classroom, they would raise their hand if they had a question or if they wanted to participate in perhaps the next problem that the teacher was doing. Virtually, we can do the same thing. At the bottom of your Zoom menu, you will see the option that says Participants. Once I double click on Participants, a box will open and I would choose my name. And at the bottom, you see I have the option to raise my hand, unmute me, or invite. Just so you know, most teachers will have this automatically set so the student will not be able to unmute themselves unless the teacher does so first. But here, I would choose the option to raise my hand. Once I raise my hand, a little blue hand appears next to my name. And Mr. Mortensen, what do you see?
All right, on my screen, I get a notification. So no matter what's going on my screen, I'll get a notification that I have a student who has raised their hand. I'll be able to click on that student and I'll see who it is. At that time, I can ask them to unmute their microphone and ask their question, and I can be able to answer their question. And once that's done, we can move on to class by lowering their hand and going back to the rest of our class.
Perfect. Before we move on, I know that parents and students are both probably very curious to the little boxes that are over here to my right in their Zoom call. And this can be very distracting, especially if you're a young child, to watch what your other friend at home is doing during class time. So parents, there is an option that we would like you to choose in order to eliminate this distraction. You have 3 options at the top of the little Zoom box. The first one, if you press it, it actually hides everyone from view. This makes it a little bit difficult to follow along with the teacher and what they're doing in class. The last option, the one with the 2 bars, is actually the one that's automatically on your Zoom call, which will show everybody on the Zoom call, and that's probably not the best learning environment for your child working at home. The one that you would like to choose is the middle one that will only allow me to see the teacher. This will eliminate all the other distractions, yet I could actually see what the teacher is doing. So now that we know how to raise our hand and ensure that we're not getting distracted by our fellow classmates, there's other features that Mr. Mortensen is ready to show us. Mr. Mortensen, take it away.
All right, the next thing that we're going to do is learn how to annotate on the screen. So both the teacher has the ability to write on the screen, and the student at home can see whatever the teacher writes. And there's also the ability for a student to write on the screen, and it shows up here in the classroom on the screen in the classroom. So first of all, I have up here a slide that asks the question, which beach is your favorite? And so I got to go to a couple beaches this summer, and so I'm going to go ahead and circle my favorite beach. My favorite beach was being able to go into Anna Maria Island, and that's over there by Holmes Beach, and we had a great time. So Mrs. Ross, which beach is your favorite?
Well, now it's my turn to annotate, and the way you do this is you go to View Options at the top, and you will see the option to annotate. Once I click that annotate option and the teacher has given me the ability to do so, I have a menu that allows me to use different tools to annotate. So I want to draw a circle now, so I am going to choose the draw option, and I'm going to go ahead and circle Cape Canaveral, Cocoa Beach, because those are some beautiful beaches and some of my favorite beaches.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Ross. That is a great beach. Now, as a teacher, I have the ability to see which student wrote what. And so whenever they draw a line or write a number, then their name pops up right next to whatever they drew, so I can know what student wrote what. And I also have the ability to clear all the drawings. And we're going to do one more test with this, and that is that the teacher has the ability to be able to ask questions to online students. And so this question is a math question, and so I'm going to ask Mrs. Ross, can you please answer this question, 5 plus 5, and write the answer on our screen?
Oh, I hope I can remember this one. Well, you see, I still have the annotate tools at the top of my screen. I'm going to choose to write this in a text. Once I click text, a text box will appear, and I will type my answer and press enter. And once I do that, it will be live for my teacher to see.
All right, good job, Mrs. Ross. And as a teacher, I'm going to go ahead and put a stamp on there, and that way I know you got it right. I can also put a star on there. I can put a check mark, just different ways that a teacher has to be able to respond to our students back at home. So that's another neat feature that we can do. And then there's one more thing that we want to be able to show you, and that is how to answer a poll question. So the teacher has the ability to ask questions or to create a poll that all students online can be able to take. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this poll up there, and Mrs. Ross is going to show you what to do on her end.
So once the teacher has made their poll live, it will automatically appear on the child's screen. They will go ahead and choose whatever their response is going to be, and then they're going to click submit. Once they do so, the actual poll question will go ahead and disappear from the child's screen, and the teacher will be able to go ahead and use that data for whatever information they were trying to receive.
Yes, so I'll be able to see all the results from our online students and be able to get some instant feedback right away from our students about questions that we have in class.
This is a great feature to have, especially to give an informal assessment to make sure that the students are understanding what's being taught in class. Another important component of the hybrid program is the LMS. I am actually leaving the Zoom meeting, so you will be able to see that I am going into another window in my computer, and every child will have a login for the LMS system, which is how you are going to turn in and receive different assignments. So to log into the LMS system, you're simply going to go to lms.renwood.com. And for those parents who are familiar with getting assignments off Renweb, like homework and seeing grades, you're going to see the login looks very similar. Your child will put in their login information. We're going to use my son today. We're going to see what it looks like as far as the student view. Once you log into the LMS system, your child should see all of the classes that they're currently taking for the 2020-2021 school year. If it doesn't appear right off the bat, you simply click Dashboard, and the class tiles will appear. So here you're able to see what are the upcoming assignments that I have in the various classes that I'm taking. Once I click on the assignment, it will take me to the assignment page along with whatever directions the teacher will have. Remember, the child actually attended the class live through Zoom, so most of these directions will be explained during the live class, and what you will see in the top is simply just a quick summary of what the child is expected to do. This is equivalent of them turning in an assignment at the end of class. So if they have an assignment to turn in, they would simply go to this red arrow, click on it. They would put the title of the assignment. So I would simply just teach the children to copy and paste whatever the title is that is here that the teacher already wrote. Makes it very simple. And then put the child's name next to it. You do not have to write a description. If it's a page that I have to attach, I would click the attach button and this window would pop up and I would just simply browse my computer for whatever the assignment was that they're asking for and I would attach it just like every other assignment. I would choose it, it would appear at the bottom, I would attach it. Anytime you have to click attach, you will have this option to go ahead and attach. So let's say that there were multiple documents that the teacher asked me for. I can go ahead and put multiple documents on the assignment tab. Then it's very important that I click turn in. Once I click turn in, the teacher will be notified and these assignments will be turned into the teacher. I will get a confirmation at the bottom that the assignments has been turned in. This, in a nutshell, is our hybrid program. Like we said before, we know that this is a learning experience for everybody, and we are all here to help everyone get through this whole new style of learning. We hope you enjoyed this very brief training on the hybrid program. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to Mr. Mortensen or myself for any specific questions that you may have. Thank you again, and we can't wait to see you on August 24th.